Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
What is up? Welcome to Drinkin Bros. I am your still filling host, Rob Fox, joined by Dan Holloway, and we have a very special guest, Jared Taylor, live from a half-finished bathroom.
This is my first time on Drinkin Bros.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you. What do you do for a living?
Well, right now, I'm a bathroom designer.
Yeah.
And really, I'm not fulfilling that role as my buddy, the lead contractor on the whole thing, kind of designs it, and I just shake my head and say yes.
Well, that's what, that's how you're supposed to live your life is point and ask for things. It's like you start out as a baby, then a toddler, where you lack the communication skills or the ability or both to do any of the things that you need. Mm-hmm. So you just point and ask for them. And then when you get to a certain level of professional success, you just do that all over again.
Yeah.
And then at some point you start shitting your pants again, presumably.
Yes. Baker actually had a very, very good quote last night that was interesting. He said, "Every human on Earth has the ability to identify a problem. Only winners know how to fix it."
A mediocre NFL team should put that on the wall of their locker room.
Yeah, and then slap it on their way out every day.
I just think you're delegating, and I think you should tell people that they don't understand the pressure you're under having to make so many decisions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's your vision. He's just doing the work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or who cares? Anyway.
Decisions, and that is, owning a business is nothing but decisions.
Mm. Yeah, but you're not talking about your business. You're talking about you got bored and want to remodel your fucking bathroom, Jared.
Hey, I needed stone and not linoleum.
Well, are you going to heat the floor?
Yeah.
Because
floor is heated by, we developed this new system that recycles your piss and heats the floor. So it's a piss heated floor.
I don't think that's real. I hope it's not.
It absolutely is.
Because I'm not coming to your house anymore if you've got piss under the floors.
I appreciate.
No, it's under the floor. It's not. You're not stepping in it.
I know, but still, it's close.
Look at this. This guy's in the New York Times once, and he's a green lib cuck now.
Yeah.
We actually heat all of our floors with recycled urine.
Wait, what is recycled urine? Is just water, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're not keeping the properties of the urine. This is even better than the original urine.
Right.
I know. Do you know that urine only contains 13% actual urine?
Yeah, it's 87% water, which is
that means peeing in the pool, you really have to pee a lot in the pool for it to really dilute.
Yeah, how many gallons is a swimming pool? 200 gallons maybe?
200 to 400? Yeah, 200 to 400-ish.
Yeah. So it's it's 13% of the 4 ounces of the 200 to 400 gallons. That's nothing. I'll drink that all day.
Yeah,
dude, a pool.
You should say that.
That's I think a pool's maybe even that's you're being generous. A pool is barely 100 gallons, probably.
Probably. I mean, a 50-gallon tote is the size. It's about half the size of that wall right there, and probably
an Olympic-sized swimming pool. I think you'd be about 120 gallons.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's less urine than Joey Salads has drank. He's been talking shit. He's been talking shit about us lately. This is the guy that, by the way, parked a car in a black neighborhood, put Trump stickers all over it, and then paid a couple of black dudes to go fucking tear the car to pieces to prove how.
Is this the dude that just posted "You're in my show"?
Yeah.
At a podcast. I didn't even watch it.
I didn't either. A bunch of people said it, but I thought it was funny because this guy is one, he's pissed in his own mouth, although he says he didn't swallow. I don't know if that's a Bill Clinton joke or something.
I mean, all right.
Probably. It seems worse. That means it hangs out in the mouth longer.
Yeah, but what he did do is he went full Jussie Smollett. Right? Or Juicy Smollett, whatever that fucking retard's name is. I don't. Nobody cares what his actual name is, Dan, you piece of shit. Either way, he paid some people, and he admitted to this. I'm not making it up. He paid some people that were black to go attack the car to prove how racist black people are, or whatever the fuck, right?
This just seems
that's pathetic.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Sounds like good content.
If you do something like that and get caught, you should just fucking retire. You know what I mean? You don't see Joe Namath walking around anymore because he.
It's funny just because he still does I guess a news show or something. So it's he's essentially all right, yeah, I did that one. It's like a Brian Williams times 100, right? It's I did that one thing, but look, you can trust me now.
But that's the thing. Like that's what's funny is how much people have become willing to ignore if it's not like you know what I mean? What I'm getting at.
Yeah, for sure. We're getting fact checked about right now. Apparently, there's thousands of gallons in a swimming pool.
Yeah,
no, not at all.
Hundreds
Not
sounded fucking insane to me.
It is barely an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Does not even crest over 100.
Paul Webster, webmaster of Dune, and if you are Dune's webmaster, good job because they have a great website.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means. He says an Olympic swimming pool is like fucking 660,000 gallons.
Yep, I just googled that.
Yeah,
600.
but Paul doesn't understand math like we do.
Well, I know who definitely doesn't understand math, and that is you. Right? If anyone, I don't know who does, but I know you don't. So I'm definitely more interested in what this guy has to say, and Google, by the way. Although, is it big swimming pool?
Yeah,
censoring us.
Just kind of. Well, what if they're just trying to?
They're trying to gaslight us. They're trying to gaslight us to keep us from peeing in pools.
I'm actually pulling this up so I can keep up with the comments as well.
Well, they've been doing that for years with the blue dye in the pool, supposedly, right?
He's doing. But
that's a fib. That's always been a fib.
Yeah,
right.
That's not, I don't know. I don't think that's real. But he's spitting out some good numbers now. I'm so an Olympic swimming pool filled with pee. So if the entire thing was filled, that would only be 85,800 gallons of urine. The rest would be water. Now, it would probably have a yellowish tint to it.
A hue, yeah.
A hue.
Depending on how hydrated the legion of...
Do you know
yellow plus blue from the sky.
A horseshoe wears?
Do I what?
Do you know how much a horseshoe weighs?
I do not.
You just asked
42 pounds. And your average horse has between 6 to 12 legs. That's 780 pounds worth of shoes. It's why horses sink.
Yeah, you can't drive a horse over water.
You cannot.
For that reason, yeah.
This is and the first movie that was ever being no shit debunked why horses sink was The Ring. When the horse went off the ferry boat, boom, sunk.
Yeah,
someone finally was brave enough to say it.
Yeah, fact check that, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You think you're such a fucking tough guy?
Wait, then why does zebras swim?
Stop, Giorgio.
Yeah, you're gonna get raped probably. I mean, you got to be careful.
Dan? Did you see you were a guest of honor on Lauren Chen's show as well? Look at that, you and me just making appearances this week.
On who?
Lauren Chen, a Canadian.
I don't know who that is.
Not even an American citizen, but she likes to push her way into American politics.
I'm not sure who that is.
Only 8 people live up there. You got to fill the air with something.
Yeah,
with bagged
She
milk.
made a video about us this morning and called you out.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't notice, so she didn't do it very well, I guess. I mean, I guess I don't fucking care. I don't even know who that is.
If you're not if you're not gonna at the people that you're trying to steal clout from to try and sucker fish on, what's the point?
You know what? I'm gonna give somebody a shout out today because I am fairly impressed with this, and here's why. Now, execution was awful, but Jeffrey Ladon, he decided to talk shit to me on LinkedIn. I mean, that's a new one.
That's fantastic.
At least your real name is connected to it, and your job and everything like that.
Yeah, that's. I think that's how the entire internet should just move over to LinkedIn. That's what I think.
For years I've wanted to make a LinkedIn troll account.
I'll read you an excerpt, Rob.
I use my real LinkedIn account. I used to use. I sent dick pics on LinkedIn for years.
So he sent me some giant diatribe calling us cowards and saying we contribute to American Marxist movement. I don't know, a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, so I just said, hey, dude, maybe stick to information systems because emotional intelligence isn't your forte. And his response was, no, too smart, fat, so hit the gym or try walking a few feet. IT is everything in business, and your response will be sent to all press entities covering this story. God, you're a fool, scum Marxist. And then I replied with, I can't wait for them to run the story. Man who blows dudes at truck stops for a living talks shit to guy who makes coffee and funny videos on LinkedIn. Riveting, Jeff. That sent him over the edge.
That's pretty solid work. Also, man, I always like when, when someone sends a work email and they're not a good writer and it looks like they used the thesaurus 12 times in a sentence.
Yeah. Like Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Press entities. Like he was really trying to scare you with vocabulary there.
Yeah.
But then also, by the way, I'll follow up with he did call customer service at Black Rifle and pretend that he was a writer for a number of press outlets and told them that I was, making slang comments on LinkedIn.
Making what?
I don't know. It was.
Why would they call the fucking customer service department?
Yeah, like any reporter calls our customer service to tattle on me.
Oh boy. Well, we have actually had people call customer service to talk shit about us before.
Well, yeah, they're always tattling on me.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That does sound fun. It's
really funny. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care about or know who any of these people are, frankly.
Yeah.
We're in a period now where a lot of people that used to seem left seem like they're right now because the left has lost its mind. And one of the things they do most is intentionally misunderstand people and show no nuance in conversations, right, in debates. And that's exactly what all of these people on the right do now. All these fucking 25-year-old blonde girls that think they're Fox News contributors, but they actually work for The Blaze and fucking all these other news
even The Blaze is pretty generous.
Yeah, and all these other stupid fucking organizations that just shouldn't exist in the first place. Like, oh, come join my partisan news organization. You got one of those words wrong, right? News is not partisan, bitch.
Right.
So anyways, yeah, it's these people or it's the social media accounts. They're like fucking fat retards that have never done shit in their entire lives. People that are fucking talk about fucking I'm a tough guy, fucking I'm an American motherfucker.
You're ruining my fucking country.
You're not gonna do any of this shit in my backyard. Well, you had the opportunity to go fucking serve your country and you didn't, you pussy bitch. So shut the fuck up. First of all, and secondly, I don't care about any of this.
Yeah,
this is a fucking comedy show. God damn it.
Yeah,
we're gonna say dumb shit.
No,
sometimes.
That's the thing. They're all wrapped around the axle that like. Somehow our military uniform fashion show was us going even more woke and trying to normalize cross-dressing. It's like, oh, dude, we can't even be funny anymore. These fucking miserable people are going to fuck it up for all of us.
Oh, I just watched that, Jared. So, by the way, what she commented on it, the deployment goggles, I thought that was hilarious. And she like clearly doesn't get any of the references specifically to the military.
No, she's an idiot.
She thinks this is a commercial for coffee. It's like, she's like, I don't understand how it sells coffee. Well, it raises the brand. Everyone in the military thinks it's fucking hilarious.
You don't understand how it sells coffee, and that's why you don't own a fucking $1 billion company, you stupid bitch.
Right.
Jesus Christ. I don't understand how it sells coffee. I don't know. Look at the bottom line, motherfucker. $240 million of revenue this year.
Or even just like how many people viewed the fucking video. I don't understand how it sells coffee. Like
I don't even care about the views at that point. For me, it's like you essentially are saying we can't even like that video Matt had the idea of almost a year ago and we thought it was hilarious and we sat on it until we had the resources to make it correct, by the way. Meaning like you can't half-ass that the way that we did it there using a real production company and things like that. Like it made it funny.
So what what I'm gleaning from this is that Matt Best has been a Marxist for at least a year.
Yeah, minimum of 1 year. You guys also just put a minigun on the Prius that we had previously put a Vulcan cannon on. Two miniguns. Excuse me. Yeah. What does that have to do with fucking coffee? I don't hear you bitching about that. Like you're trying to read into fucking people's intentions based on fucking silly jokes they made. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Here's a better question. What does a fucking polar bear celebrating Christmas have to do with soda?
Well, polar bears all have diabetes. Polar bears have diabetes.
So. I don't understand how polar bears sell soda. God damn it.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Well, it's just, well, that's what I'm taking away from it. It's just like, dude, we can't even just make like comedy like that. That was not, we weren't attacking anybody. We weren't fucking with anybody. Like we were just trying to be funny and like they still find some stupid connection to it. And yeah, like at the end of the day, Sleeper Cell in the comments says she's doing it for fucking views. Yes, this is her third or fourth video on this. It's because she knows it'll actually get seen rather than her just yapping her fucking mouth.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the same thing as like...
good for her. Maybe she'll make a career out of it.
Yeah.
And that's good. We're job creators.
It's the same thing as like, websites like the AV Club have to block. Like they have literally critically they criticize like every episode of a show, and I mean that in a literal sense. Like they have a
like
critique of every episode of every show, and like
it's better when the actual. So Rogan just got only the second time since he moved over to Spotify got knocked out of the top spot by the It's Always Sunny crew, right? And I think people, if you take
that's got to be a really funny show.
Oh my god, dude! I haven't listened to it yet, but I can only imagine. It's Charlie Day, Glenn Howerton, and fucking Rob McElhenney. So you can imagine what the fuck that is. It's the three assholes that sit down in a room together and write literally every line that happens in that show.
Yeah.
So if you like that show, you're probably gonna like it, and that's the thing. I don't know why they chose. Maybe because everybody else is busy and has real jobs, but Pam and fucking whomever else for The Office.
Well, nobody chose that. It was Pam and Angela just did it.
Jenna Fisher.
Jenna Fisher. I don't remember the other.
Her name is Angela something. I don't know what her last name is.
Kinsey? Kenny?
Kenny. That's it. Yeah.
Kenny?
Yeah. She's. I mean, they're funny and the show's good and people love that show. But man, hearing the It's Always Sunny one, I'm sure is going to be funny, and the Smartless one.
Smartless is good.
Yeah, anything with what's his name?
Bateman and Will Arnett.
Bateman and Arnett. That's just gonna kill.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, we're job creators. I hope this woman has a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then eventually it's like, dude, I'm working on a number of Republican campaigns between now and next year. Like Seal Pack. Gonna try and do some stuff with them. You know, trying to get Morgan Luttrell for Texas. By the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna actively campaign against anybody you're campaigning for.
I dare you.
Just because I'm fucking bored and I'm tired of your bullshit.
You should run against me and Caleb for mayor of Bergheim. I mean, even though you don't live in Bergheim, I think you should run against us.
I feel like we should. I should buy a piece of property. We need to find some property somewhere that is unincorporated so we can make our own city.
Yeah. I agree it's time to make a city.
Yeah.
Drinkin Bros, you know, Rob, what do you think? What
I can tell you
Westertonville?
is that the dating scene will end up being similar to prison within a year.
Yeah.
No, there's been Drinkin Bros singles for 6 years. Right?
Yeah, there were about 10,000 people in there at one point.
Really?
It wasn't all
almost
dudes.
12,000
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
It was really, really effective.
Yeah. I want to start our own city and then we just take turns being mayor and sheriff. But you have to dress like the sheriff, and I feel like we should have. I want to have like
you have to be on roller skates.
Yeah, I want to have a charter that elucidates the position of sheriff, and your uniform has got to be the gayest sheriff uniform of all time. And I'm not even talking about Dangle from Reno 911. I'm talking about gay, right? Like urban cowboy, fucking tassels, pearl snaps.
Well, I want the sheriff to be more like the sheriff from Mr. Pickles.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, everybody will just be dead.
Right.
We can't do that. Although if I was the sheriff, then Brittany's fucking dog would be attacking everybody. So that would be pretty normal for a sheriff.
Mr. Pickles. If you haven't seen Mr. Pickles, probably one of the greatest shows ever.
Mr. Pickles for the first 2 seasons, and then they changed it to Mama Named Me Sheriff, I think, after that.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
you should definitely do drugs. You should do drugs before you watch it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I really think we need to hear. I think we need to have our own city, frankly.
Yeah,
Seems
you want to talk about something that'll really fuck with your mind, Giorgio? There is a video on YouTube that I stumbled across that's like trillions and trillions of years, like simulation of the universe.
Oh yeah, I watched that the other night. Brittany and I got super high and watched it.
It's like wild.
It's a 30-minute video, and it's
every 5 seconds time doubles.
Yeah, it's Brian Cox, the physicist from CERN, and Neil deGrasse Tyson has some bits in it, and a couple of other scientists narrate this whole thing, but it basically takes you from the beginning of the universe all the way through where
it starts in present day.
Are you not talking about this one time lapse of the universe or whatever the fuck?
Yeah, it's the time lapse that, and every 5 seconds it doubles in time. They're narrating it about what's going to happen. You know, I believe it's like a trillion years from now is when the sun explodes and wipes the Earth.
Yeah.
And then a trillion, 2 trillion years from now is when every star burns out and everything starts turning into black holes and things start colliding and everything. Like, dude, it gets fucking wild, man, real quick.
Yeah,
Giorgio, can you find out what it's really called?
Yeah, that's what it's called, what I just said.
It's Time Lapse of the Future, A Journey to the End of Time, parentheses 4K.
Yeah.
That's fucking
it's really good.
Badass.
But it goes all the way out to like 10 times, or I'm sorry, like I think 4 times 10 to the 34th or something like that. So trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of years.
One thing about this video, the water simulation and the destruction is just top-notch CGI.
Dude, it's really good. It's all
awesome.
in 4K. And then it makes you just think how insignificant your 80 years are.
Yeah, it is. You've not here for a long time or a good time.
That's actually the tagline for Orphans. Yeah. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a bad time.
Yeah, because I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is the one that says it in the thing that life is only sustained in the universe for a trillionth 0.1%. Of the time scale.
Life as we know it, yeah, for sure. It's like if I can't remember the metaphor they used or the for whatever it was, but it was like the entire existence of humanity on Earth, or at least the Earth's existence in the universe, is only like a fraction of a second long compared to the entire universe. Basically, it's something stupid like that. Like maybe 1/10,000th of a second would be the universe, or our galaxy's entire existence.
Over the course of, what's that in relation to? Like an hour, a day, a minute?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was. You should just watch it. You should get high and then watch it because it's funny. It's not funny. I'm sorry. It's cool as shit.
Nico's asking if I got in better shape to compete with Goggins because everyone knows he's a better JTAC. Fun fact, Goggins never became a JTAC. He was a TAC P and went to be a SEAL. Never got the certification, though, so...
do you want to?
Better JTAC.
Is there like a JTAC day that you can send him flowers on?
I should,
but it's like
we
second.
Should make it.
It's like a second place trophy every year to send him. Cool. Well, there's some other stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Some serious stuff, actually.
Oh no! Come on.
So we all know how this Rittenhouse thing played out, and I think it played out. I think most reasonable people. I mean, I've seen a fucking ton of liberal folks post. I didn't know all these facts about the case, until I watched it, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, that was fine what he did." I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how this whole process is supposed to work.
I've also seen a ton of, because obviously I'm from Washington State, so guess what my Facebook feed looks like?
Oh yeah, it's like white
the justice system is broke. Yeah, but it's like not a single person that I went and read. I want to see what they think, but it's like, dude. None of them watched the case. None of them fucking followed. Like again, at the end of the day, it doesn't. All these fucking pieces of information that they keep plugging in does not change the fact of they were charging him with murder 1. So they have to prove without a reasonable doubt that homeboy decided that morning that he wanted to go kill 3 people and planned it all out to do so and did not do this in self-defense. And you fucking dude, what's crazy to me is these pretend internet researchers are so great at finding Evan giving $500 to fucking Obama 8 years before our company ever even existed. So why that's a thing, I don't care. But you can still go back and see 3 days after Kenosha, me arguing like fucking hell with liberals on my Facebook that if you grab a person's weapon, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah, provided they're carrying it legally and not in the actively in commission of a crime.
Right.
If you reach and grab my weapon, then the presumption of a reasonable person is that you could take that weapon away from me and then use it on me.
Yeah.
Now that's a shitty situation. It sucks that kind of situation exists. And to be honest, it's probably something of a natural reaction to grab somebody's gun if they're pointing it at you, or if they have it and you think they're up to no good. Mm-hmm. But still, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? It's just, that's just the fucking law. And it's thousands of years of fucking common law about self-defense. You know what I mean? Not with guns, but with knives and shit like that. So,
dude,
whatever.
100%. And that's the thing. This dude here will BRCC retract writing Kyle off. We didn't write him off. We said we didn't know the kid. We said we didn't offer him a sponsorship, and we were angry that a fucking coupon code was attached to the photo. That's our stance. I'm personally glad that he didn't get shafted like Derek Chauvin did, because I feel like Derek Chauvin did not get a fucking verdict per the actual evidence of the crime, which the jurors came out and said afterwards that they voted the way they did because they were in fear of what was going to be the repercussions had they done it. So I am really happy Kyle got a fucking fair trial.
Yeah, me too. And I'm glad the pedophile's dead, frankly.
Yes.
One less pedophile is always
One
a
less
I would
fucking
say
pedophile's
if you
great.
want, I said this on RPR the other day maybe, but like the most egregious part of the justice system that was shown throughout the Rittenhouse trial was that dude was somehow not in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how is that
after anally raping 5 9 to 11-year-old boys, this motherfucker's still out walking the streets.
on the streets.
Somebody should have turned his head into a canoe a long time ago, frankly. Fuck jail. People like that don't deserve jail.
But dude, we have also a fucking bad system, especially with COVID.
The system is bad, and it's bad in a way that isn't. The facts of the badness of our justice system are not being accurately represented by the complaints that the left has. Right?
You know who made a good complaint on it?
Who's that?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, he made a great complaint on it, but there's another woman, and she just got some good news recently, but there's another woman who, this is a big case that people should start paying attention to right now. Her name is Crystal Kaiser. It's Krystul, Kaiser. She's 20 now, but at the time she was 17. This dude, what the fuck was his name? Voller or some shit?
Is this the chick that was like a sex slave and murdered the guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this piece of shit, Randall Voller, Randall with 2 L's, Volar, if you want to look it up, in Kenosha, by the way, had
What a fun town.
Yeah, had for he was 34, she was 16 at the time when they met. Was filming the abuse of underage girls, was holding them down and raping them himself. She was 16 at the time. For a full year, he raped her on a regular basis and filmed shit and blah blah blah. And at some point, he gets arrested and then released on bail, of course.
Right.
Because why not? Because I think it was 5 separate women that accused him of shit. He got arrested, released on bail, and caught up with her again somehow, was holding her down, getting ready to fuck her up again, and she shot and killed him.
Yeah.
Right? And somehow she's been held in prison for 2 years.
What
until
the fuck?
Yeah, until recently, where finally she was allowed to have bail. Now, this is what I was talking about a week ago with regard to the criminal justice system. We shouldn't be, instead of being angry that Kyle Rittenhouse was allowed to defend himself from predatory assholes, just because, and then saying, oh, he shouldn't be able to do it because we're not able to do it. No, everyone should be able to do that. Every fucking swinging dick in this country should be able to defend themselves against fucking piece of shit predator, pedophile motherfuckers. You know what I mean? If the person dies in the fucking defense, fuck them. They're pedophiles. Who cares? And this woman is fucking 20 years old, and she spent her early college years now in fucking jail for killing a pedophile who had raped her over and over
Innumerable
again.
times, yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the problem.
Dude,
you're talking about all these
that's a
people,
huge fucking
all these lefties bitching about Kyle Rittenhouse are bitching about the wrong goddamn thing. You've
Yeah.
got a right to fucking feel safe.
Well,
in the
that
richest country
poses
in
the
history of
fucking
world.
question right here. Where is the Ghislaine Maxwell coverage? Why the fuck isn't everybody up this ass? Why isn't this a bipartisan issue? Why isn't everybody saying every motherfucker that rode that fucking plane, every motherfucker that hung out with Epstein? Where's the fucking left on that?
Well, it's for the same reason that we're spending millions of dollars investigating the January 6th bullshit and not spending any. And by the way, a jury just found that the Unite the Right people owe damages for $26 million to somebody. I don't know who, because it was all government property, and they said it was $16 million. So I don't know who. Maybe the families of people that got hurt or some shit. But who is suing the people that are organizing all the Antifa and BLM protests?
Right.
Right? Why is this fucking BLM leader in New York allowed to say that there's going to be blood if they don't get what they want? Why are these armed motherfucking Black Panther people standing outside of the Armin Arbery trial right now? Right? If there was a trial for a black person in this country and a bunch of armed white people from a known terrorist group were standing outside, that would be a problem, right?
Yeah.
So all of these things work because they work for everybody. Or rather, only work when they work for everybody. It is inappropriate to stand outside of a fucking courthouse armed to intimidate people. It is inappropriate to charge a woman and fucking keep her in prison for 2 years because she fucking smoked some dude that was raping her. All that is wrong. It doesn't have anything to do with race.
A lot of it sounds like, not the standing outside armed or whatever, but a lot of it, and Kyle Rittenhouse kind of put it on this, made this point too afterwards when he was in the Tucker Carlson interview. And the reason people get out on bail, I think, is the reason as well, is it's like the shitty bureaucracy of it all, like the corner cutting, like trying to get people to plea down who might actually be innocent when they're just like, dude, take the plea. Like that was a whole plot point in the night of, right? Yeah. They're just like, dude, take the plea. He didn't do it, but they're like, take just you're good, or else you'll get fucked.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people, especially young people or people who are, because of their culture, whatever it happens to be, are intrinsically distrustful of the system, would probably take a lesser manslaughter, second-degree charge.
I had this conversation with Tim Parlatore yesterday because I just watched the Eddie Gallagher special on Apple Plus, and it's like, dude, investigators rely a lot on fucking people that do not have the education, money, or resources to get good quality representation, so they just fucking convince them that they have to fucking give up.
Right.
It's not about whether you're innocent or not. I mean, when you watch those fucking interviews from the NCIS pieces of shit that fucking handled Eddie's case, like, they are fucking losers. Yeah. And they're fucking in there baiting.
Yeah, it's not Tom Cruise, by the way.
Right.
It's not Tom Cruise.
Is it even Scott Bakula?
No.
They're begging for something. They're and that's what you see in this special. Like, for those that aren't like super into this case or never read Eddie's book or really didn't know how the case went, is all of a sudden after 6 months, when they didn't have enough to get Eddie removed from their platoon, then all of a sudden all the war crime shit started coming out.
Yeah, it's like
then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I remember Eddie was killing civilians with a sniper rifle. And rather than calling somebody in the chain of command when this happens, their solution supposedly was, we're shooting warning shots at the civilians so they scatter. Like, Dan, you were an E3 when I met you. Would you have any problem calling a fucking 06 if you watched a first sergeant purposely snipe a fucking little girl in the stomach?
No, as a matter of fact, that dude probably wouldn't have made it off the rooftop in the first place. Let's be real about that. Like, we don't tolerate that shit. Especially, like, team guys don't just let other team guys fucking murder people for no reason.
No, and if you actually witness that, you're going to fucking do something about it.
Yeah.
You're not just going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to let that go for 6 months until now. I think it's a good time to bring this up.
Was it a suppressed memory? Were they hypnotized to bring it out?
No. They said it was consistent. Every day he went out to kill civilians, you know?
So,
They called it the harvest.
This is part of the story. So according to this woman, Crystal Kaiser, she shot Villar, how do you say his name, in the head when he tried to pin her on the floor. She has also been accused of setting his house on fire and fleeing the scene, which again,
that's kind of cool.
I mean,
yeah,
movies, right?
Pending on if like the house had close neighbors, like if it was just a single house, like, but by all means burn the house down.
She was charged with arson and first-degree intentional homicide, which we know that they don't have.
By the way, that's bananas that they went for. I didn't realize they went for first in the Rittenhouse trial.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That is insane.
So this woman, Kaiser, and it goes to your point, Jared, she was in jail for 2 years before an advocacy group finally raised enough to cover the $400,000 bond. Not bail, bond.
Right.
$400,000 bond. That's what is that, a $4 million fucking bail for a fucking 19-year-old black girl? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Like, what the fuck, dude? What's she going to do? Anyways, early in June, she appeared in court. The prosecution hoped to appeal a ruling by the State District 2 Court of Appeals that stated she could potentially present evidence to the judge proving the shooting was a direct result of the abuse she experienced. So the prosecutor's office, right? The prosecutor's office in Kenosha, the one that just fucked up this case with Kyle Rittenhouse.
I think it still might be an intentional cell phone.
It maybe, yeah. It's possible because they had such a bad case. But either way, the same DA's office prosecuting this case, and nobody is fucking talking about this shit, held this woman for 2 years, and she had to sue them go through an appeals court process for the right to enter into evidence the fact that this dude was forcing her to fucking have sex with him on video. Are you fucking kidding me? How is that not a salient piece of information?
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is a huge fucking problem. Search for the phrase like woman murders husband or abused woman murders husband or something like that. And you'll find a bunch of cases from all over the world of women who got the shit kicked out of them for like 20, 30 years at a time. And finally you're like, fuck you, and shot him, right?
Yeah.
And somehow that shit's not self-defense. You know what I mean?
It honestly would have been self-defense if she just watched him walk down the street toward him. Toward her, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like Jimbo.
Yeah.
Coming right for me. Bam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he actually probably was coming right for him.
And this is the point. This is what I'm always talking about. Like, you've got to fucking have some kind of baseline. Sure, I think everything should be equal and fair for everybody. And the expectation shouldn't be that you get treated a certain way if you're a violent criminal. No, the expectation is that you're not a violent criminal. And if you are,
right,
then normal people who aren't get to do whatever the fuck they want to stop you. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Why are we propping up these assholes? It's the Soros-backed DAs. Everybody used to think this was a fucking a crazy conspiracy theory. But in 2016, when the records became public, even LA Times has written about this, Politico. He's given millions of dollars, tens of millions, to over 270 separate DAs, Attorney General, all these people at the local level too, sheriffs, all kinds of stuff. And just to get this progressive, let people out of jail because it'll be fine, don't worry about it bullshit. Right? And it is a consistent move in the wrong direction. They used COVID for it too. All these people can't afford bail, so let them out. They might get COVID, so let them out. And they're out there raping and murdering people. And now what you see are fucking 50 people at a time running into a goddamn store and just taking everything and then running out because they know nothing's going to happen to them. That's what happens, you stupid fucks.
Dude, that's Target's closing down all their locations in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, okay, like, and now, like, dude, that affects the community. How many people were getting their groceries, getting things that they needed at these stores? Now they can't because
working there.
Yeah, working there.
Yeah.
So you got to find a new job. These flash mobs keep showing up, and they're not dancing anymore.
Yeah, it was cool when they were dancing. I was a big fan of flash mobs, although I feel like if I had ever experienced one in person, I probably would have gotten violent. Even though they weren't, I would have been like, what the fuck?
I kind of wish DeSantis would just run for president because I want to see what he would do for 4 years.
It would be interesting. Yeah, I think he's going to have to get through Trump, to be honest.
Well, the thing is I have a hunch because nobody has any shit on DeSantis.
Yeah,
and
they've tried. I guarantee you, if they had some dirt on DeSantis, you would know about it.
It would have already been utilized.
Right. No, 100%. I mean, it got to the point, even like Democrats in the state were like, no, you're making that up.
Yeah.
To the national media, like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Him or I don't know how you guys feel about him, but Tim Scott seems pretty clean and like he's gearing up for a primary run.
Yeah, that might be your fucking. I think it'll be either those two guys.
Familiar.
Tim Scott's he's the black senator from South Carolina, senator to president.
Oh, dude, he's a fucking G.
He's a smart guy. Yeah,
I've watched him just decimate people on the fucking.
I'm almost rooting for Tim Scott just so I can see like the pretzel.
Oh yeah.
Of
because they won't know what to. They'll completely implode.
Tim Scott and Nikki Haley probably.
Nikki Haley would be the funniest outcome because they'd have to acknowledge that like the first woman and like brown woman, I guess, was a Republican. But Tim Scott, either one would be a fun pretzel. Tim Scott is was less into Trump though. Like Nikki Haley cozied up a little more, so there's easier material with Nikki Haley. Tim Scott was,
but Nikki Haley's pretty moderate though, politically speaking. Like she was fine with Trump a little bit, but she wasn't like she wasn't like that turd in Florida. What's his name that we had on the show? Matt, whatever the fuck.
Gates.
Yeah. She wasn't like part of the cabinet or anything.
Right.
Tom Cotton.
I mean, Eric Wilson saying DeSantis Gabbard, like that would confuse. Like,
yeah, I mean, Tulsi is. I fucking said this like 2 years ago, but it comes true every single fucking day, and it's that reasonable people will seem left when the right's out of control and right when the left is out of control. And that's why you're seeing all these fucking people who were Democrats or lefties before that are just like, no, man.
Right.
Like even Bill Maher is like, you guys got to knock this shit off.
Wait, weren't you claiming Democrat for like fucking 8 years?
Who, me? No, I mean, I don't ever vote based on the party.
Well, I know that, but you said I remember. I mean, this is all years because I don't think people like remember. Like during the Obama McCain race, like it wasn't as polarizing as it is now at all.
Right.
Like really, people hated McCain more for a bunch of stupid shit that he did.
Yeah, the right didn't like McCain enough to elect him for sure. Not over the groundswell for Obama, and even McCain during his campaign stuff. When people did try to get animated and stuff like, oh, he's fucking whatever, and he's like, no, like, shut up, he's an American.
McCain had the only error probably between the two during that campaign, which was just Sarah Palin. That was the one thing people could latch on to.
Yeah, that was a pretty big error, though.
Yeah.
That's like saying that fucking, what's his nuts, Bill Buckner only had one error. You know what I mean? Costing the World Series.
Dude, watching Rand Paul just destroy fucking Fauci is probably the most entertaining thing.
Rand Paul's, he's an interesting guy. I don't think he's a very good politician, but he's
a smart man.
Yeah, he's not dumb. He just like, you know, he spent the first half of his career trying to separate himself from his dad's racist bullshit. Like Ron Paul said all kinds of fucked up racist shit.
Oh, did he? Yeah. I only know him as like the ultra libertarian.
Yeah,
like driving through Missouri on the way back from college, like from middle Missouri to St. Louis.
Right,
you'd see a couple Paul signs.
Yeah. And the problem for Ron Paul wasn't necessarily. I don't know that he was necessarily racist. He just had to cozy up to the only other people who were in the libertarian game at the time.
Yeah.
Who were not great people. You know what I mean? So maybe it's just like, you know, he got too close to the sun and his fucking wax wings melted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about this. I don't know about 24. It's interesting. Biden says he's going to run, but there's no fucking way.
Yeah, there's no way. He can't even fucking speak.
Yeah.
Right now.
That'll be a fascinating
I don't get it, man.
situation.
I mean, here's the thing.
But he can't announce that now, right? Because he's
America.
As soon as he announces he's not running in 24, he's now a lame duck president, and nothing else will happen for the rest of the time. So
I just want to see some I want to see real change. Like America's not short on fucking smart people. Like you're telling me that there's not some fucking engineer or economist that's just brilliant out there, that's just really, really smart and has kept their nose clean and it, you know, is just a very like, fuck, dude, you're telling me like this is the person that has access to all of our nuclear weapons. Like, let's put somebody in there that all of us trust. Like I was saying on John Burke's show, the United States president does not have to pass a fucking security check, like clearance.
Yeah.
Like, let's start with that. You have to pass a basic secret security clearance. Like that would have completely like Biden wouldn't be eligible.
No.
Like, how does that make sense to us? That the most powerful person in the country that is allowed to hear every form of classified piece of information doesn't have to pass a security clearance. Did you know that, Giorgio?
Giorgio's he's dead.
I did not know that.
Oh, he's alive.
Yeah, you can search. You can look it up right now.
Yeah,
there is no
true.
requirement
and you
for
get
a presidential candidate to pass a security investigation.
I don't want to get too scientific here, but the president's book that Nick Cage alludes to, in National Treasure, that's a real thing. Right, there's definitely the Book of Secrets. It's not like fucking a Harry Potter book where you wave a magic wand and you learn who killed JFK. But they have like troves of data of everything that's ever happened that people need to know. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's compartmentalized that even the president doesn't know.
Right.
But he or she, I guess, for that fucking 4-hour period earlier this week, would have access to plenty to fuck over the country.
Right.
I mean, pretty easily.
I mean, even though like it's not like a blanket, like you're president and you get read into everything, you still can request and you still are able to be read into anything that you specifically direct.
Yeah, you have need to. So there's two things in the intelligence community. One is the clearance level, and the two is need to know. Mm-hmm. So even if you have the commensurate clearance level, if you don't have the need to know, you're not entitled to see that. Somebody, who is it here? Zaid Kari. I don't know how you say that fucking because it's weird text, but it says you trust the FBI having power over who's allowed to be president. That's a good point. Who would do the security clearance check? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, but also like we're seeing the corruption now with the DOJ. Like we're seeing they're not prosecuting certain things that other people have brought to light, and they just ignore it. I mean, Ilhan Omar is a prime example. She committed immigration fraud.
Yep.
And just because she was elected as a congressman, we just go, oh, we don't care. It's a congressman.
Yeah. And it's
a congressperson, but go on.
Fuck her. Now, we go by Battlestar Galactica rules here. Everybody's sir.
Yeah.
Even women. Anyways, yeah, the DOJ is doing that. They're also
that would be an easy thing to politicize and weaponize
for sure.
Very
yes,
quickly.
You could weaponize it if you were in power.
You definitely have to. Figure out a way to do that.
You would have to change it to be. You would have to change it to report to a council, and that council has 3 red seats, 3 fucking blue seats, and 3 independent seats.
I mean, it would just be the Supreme Court, right? I mean, that's who would do this. That's who would do the background check, I guess.
Right, but it's not like the 9 of them. The 9 of them are reviewing it. They're not doing the check.
Well, no, they would though. They would review all that. So the person who signs the security clearance is ultimately responsible for everything that happens.
Okay.
Even if you have some runners doing other stuff. At any rate, I think that's an interesting thing to consider. Like how would we go about that? And the DOJ has been guilty of a bunch of shit recently, right?
Not even recently. The FBI has been weaponized and politicized for the last. Since its existence?
Just basic things. Like
now we're investigating parents for getting upset that they're fucking a school literally just gave 112 kids COVID jabs, right? Instead of the flu shot. Just happened last week.
Yeah.
That's a thing that happened. You can look it up in the fucking news right now.
I didn't know a switcheroo was illegal now.
Yeah, whoa, fucking old bait and switch. Yeah, so Merrick Garland behind closed doors, right, while in public telling Congress he did not do this, was having a fucking terrorism task force look into parents. And then they do this, there's this process in the Justice Department where they find all the ways, and it came from the mafia trials. Like, how can we prosecute them? That's what RICO ultimately came from.
Yeah.
Like, how can we prosecute these people for this stuff? And that's what they did for these parents. They go find me a list of all the charges we can charge these people with in case we have to.
Right.
For parents. Right? While BLM's burning down half the country, while the BLM guy meets with the fucking incoming mayor of New York and says, if we don't get the changes we want, there's going to be blood. And they're investigating parents at schools that are mad that their children are fucking victimized.
It's a black mayor, by the way.
Yeah. Virginia got that one backfired in their face.
Yeah, that was not a good time for them.
That was a funny, what do you call it, swing of... I mean, there was independents swung that election.
I mean, how about we just okay? So I am seeing in the chat like they are shooting some decent question holes in the security clearance thing, but let's update the list of requirements. Let's say if any immediate family member is taking large sums of money by other fucking countries' governments, that's a disqualifier to be president.
Yeah, that seems like day one shit, to be honest.
That also might disqualify pretty much any billionaire who has children
and
who are adults.
It should. Why would you want billionaires to be in charge of you? You know what I mean?
Or any even multi-millionaire too. For that, I shouldn't have said billionaire. I didn't want to just.
I don't know. I know quite a few rich people. I don't know any of their kids taking a bunch of money from the CCP.
Yeah, that's.
Well, it's a difference between like what countries, I guess. Like if somebody's getting a bunch of money from some French guy, that's probably
from
not a big
Australia,
deal. Right? That's probably not a big deal.
That's one of our friends. We're fine with that.
Yeah. That makes sense. If it's any foreign country, that's probably precludes most.
A coalition.
Yeah.
Coalition.
Well, look, we've obviously got a lot of problems here. Thomas Jefferson statue was removed yesterday. That'll show him. That'll show him. Big ass statue was removed in New York from City Hall, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
And it had been there the whole time. Can I give you a Thomas Jefferson quote about New York?
Sure, I'm sure he wasn't a fan.
New York, like London, seems to be a cloaquina, which is an old-timey term for toilet, of all the depravities of human nature.
From the root word cloaca, which is a dual...
For birds and stuff,
and pussy, basically.
Yeah.
He wasn't a fan.
Didn't like New York.
Although he was a huge Parisian, interestingly enough. Loved Paris.
Loved the French.
I don't know why, because he was the only one.
He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he was a weirdo. But yeah, it's...
Ben Franklin, too.
Yeah, Ben Franklin was banging half the court.
Yeah,
you have to assume Jefferson was as well.
He loved it there. I mean, look, a guy that was that fucking stoic, maybe he was getting tuggers or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. But either way, yeah, they finally got that statue of him down. That thing's been staring down at me for years, reminding me that liberty's good, and I'm tired of it.
Sick of it.
Just had enough of your bullshit, TJ. We're going to start calling him TJ now.
I like that.
Dude, I don't think these people understand. Like, here's a prime example. There was a protest in Chicago, outside of Chicago courthouse, over the Rittenhouse verdict, where they were chanting "Communism reset," like communism is the only key. So wait, the government made the decision for the verdict, and now you're saying the fucking solution is give the government complete control?
Well,
that doesn't make any fucking sense, Rob.
Not that government. Their government.
Yeah.
Their
there's
government.
this old FDR quote, and not that anybody should be a huge fan of his or anything, but he used to say something to the effect of beware of people that tell you the government's bad, but not if we're running it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are assholes. Those are just
Right.
people that they want power.
Yeah.
The only difference between them and the people that are in power is that they're not in power. That's it.
The funniest thing to me with both like Democrats, Republicans, liberal conservatives, whatever, is just that like how confident they are that nothing they do that will or that everything they do that will clearly come back to fuck them in not even that long in the future won't fuck them.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like watching a kid with a dented-in forehead, like pulling more things off of the fucking dining room table.
Right.
Like he just keeps getting hit over and over. It's kind of the definition of a fucking lemming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you just keep walking over the edge and falling over and over again.
No one like precedent is meaningless to anyone.
I would love to have a conversation, if it were possible, with some of these younger commie types, but you can't. I mean, I watch a lot of the interviews that happen on college campuses when people like Jordan Peterson and shit go there, and it's this, they're just shouting, and then he'll say like, well, that's not really a good way to phrase that question. Here's a better way. And they're like, you don't tell me how to phrase questions? Like, well, he does because he's a fucking educator.
Right.
Dr. Jordan Peterson, and his doctorate is in what you're talking about. You dumb bitch. Yeah, he fucking knows more than you. But it's like you can't have a conversation with those folks, unfortunately.
No, they don't, dude. Yeah, but you can't just say that it's on. I mean, what I've learned in the last year is that it's on both sides. I mean, you got one in the comments here. You know, he doesn't. This dude Sean, he doesn't want to hear the truth. You know, a lot of people get their news from merely headlines and fucking meme pages. Like, and then you're so convinced that your conviction is correct, yet you never took the time to really dig in and see what the hell you're even talking about.
Yeah,
and then you're telling people how it is. Like, I have people telling me what we said, and I'm like, no, dude, you're not. That's not how this goes. Like, I was there. I was in the room. I was sitting there. Like, I know what the fuck happened.
So there's an old study, not that old actually, but it was about sports, and I think politics has essentially become an American sport at this point.
Big time.
And everyone, there's two teams.
Entertainment.
Yeah, and it's essentially like it found essentially that if people's teams won, men specifically, but people's teams won, they had like much higher self-esteem the next couple days. Like they felt better about themselves.
Interesting.
If their team won the game on Sunday, or I don't know, baseball's every fucking day.
That is interesting.
And I honestly think there's a connection there because they're treating it like sports now. They're treating it like this is my team, whatever. So they're constantly, but there's no like real wins or losses there because there's actual nuance to that shit. But they just seek out wins for themselves because they're able to find their own wins and they want to keep winning and they get mad at a single loss, even one loss.
Well, you know, there's Wisconsin did a study about 15 years ago that showed that instances of domestic violence in the state went up when the Packers lost.
Yeah.
Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Go look at, we've talked about this before where like every time there's a exciting Iron Bowl, like 4 people get murdered in Alabama.
Well, I mean, look, they probably deserved it. It's Alabama, man. No, that's an interesting part of this conversation is what people get social currency wise from that. Like I personally don't feel. I do feel sometimes when something that I believe proves to be correct, there's some validation there, yeah, and it feels nice when things go well. But I guess it depends on how you define things going well, right?
Right.
Like if your idea of things going well is that you fuck the patriarchy or whatever stupid shit that is, then any of those wins looks good. But you should be aligning yourself and aligning your values and the food that you eat from these situations, the things that nourish you from these situations. You should try your best to align those things with outcomes that are good for most people. Right?
Yeah.
Things that make sense, things that you've actually spent the time researching and blah, blah, blah. It's interesting that we don't do that. But that's the thing when you're having a conversation with somebody and you can't get a word in edgewise, and if they continue to very intentionally misunderstand what you're saying, that's basically just like
that is emotional intelligence.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like it's an unfalsifiable claim.
Oh, dude,
so you can't have an argument with somebody like that.
Yeah, I had a buddy from Washington like attempt to lay into me about something I put up, and the thing was, and this is how I broke it down for him. I said, dude, at the end of the day, like a majority of people think the exact same. Nobody wants the government to take more of their money away from them. Nobody wants the government to tell them what they are allowed to do with their land and property. Nobody wants the government to tell you can't collect rainwater if you want, whatever the fuck it is. Nobody wants those things. You'd be surprised how very similar all of us are. Yeah. But instead, we've been tricked with things like, hey guys, fight over abortion.
Right.
What? Like, a majority of us have never had abortion be any portion of our life. Right. Like there is a small percentage that has. Like, so why is that the national level thing that is everyone has to have one stance or another? I'm fine with saying, hey, I've never been in a situation where I needed one or needed to stop one. So you know what? I'm just not going to weigh in on that one.
So there was actually probably neither of you guys probably give a shit about this, but I'm like I'm an idiot and still care about it. Saturday Night Live had an interesting sketch this week. It wasn't very well done. Like the execution wasn't great, but it was like a game show, and it was, is this a Republican? And they just had these people walk out and blind list things they care about. Like Facebook is evil. I get all my food from a farm. Like all this type of shit. Where like they couldn't figure out like who was who, and then the host Kenan Thompson, like they were like, no, that has to be a Republican. Like, no, I know that for sure. And he was just like, y'all don't get the point of this game, do you?
Yeah, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Asshole. Everybody thinks the same stuff, and that's the problem with these fringe elements is they try to make their retardation seem ubiquitous, and it's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just not. It's like it's the big lie kind of theory where if you say something loud and long enough, everybody will start to believe it. But it is ultimately an unfalsifiable position. So ask one of your woke friends if you have any left, okay, explain to me this society you want to live in and why it's functionally better, right? Explain to me why having everybody have equality of outcome, right? Equity, as you like to call it, where no matter what happens in my life, regardless of anything else, we all have our quotas met. Like
right.
There are the same number of female and male mathematicians. Because in the countries where that is possible more than anywhere else in Northern Europe, and the Netherlands, Netherlands and a couple of other countries in Northern Europe, what has happened is the more egalitarian or equal they've become, those divides get bigger. So there are more male STEM people in the Netherlands where they have more equality than there are here in America, percentage-wise.
The only question I have with that is like, is there a difference in pay? Like, is there a smaller difference in pay between like a mathematician and a kindergarten teacher than there would be in America?
No.
It's about the same pay too?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I would possibly
people don't take,
be curious about.
Most people do not. They may take different jobs based on the pay, but they don't typically
jobs within their industry.
They don't typically enter a career because of that.
Right.
That's just not how it works. I mean, you can make up all the bullshit you want, and that's the point. So it's the thing that I was saying all during the election this past year. Tell me why you're voting for Biden without saying Donald Trump's name. I want to hear what you know about this man before you say the other guy who is irritating to you is worse. I want to hear it. And nobody gave me any kind of fucking normal goddamn explanation of why they would vote for him. Because you can't point to his record. It's not good. And you can't point to his fucking mental faculties because they're not there. You know what I mean? And you certainly can't say, well, at least he's got Kamala. Nobody would say that.
No.
Not even her husband.
No. Although the vice president field was pretty fucking shallow that year.
Yeah. It always is.
Usually it's pretty bad.
But
we all knew that was this was predicted months before. We knew that fucking Biden was going to pick somebody that would have that no one could argue with. We knew it was going to be a female vice president.
Yeah, but he said that. He said it's going to be a female.
I think he said he'd put a black woman on the Supreme Court. I don't think he committed.
Biden said he was going to nominate a female as his VP or select a female as his VP, which means she got selected for that position only because of her vagina, which I believe is how you pronounce that word.
Yeah, that's right.
Phonetically,
vagina.
Yeah.
That's not a good. I mean, I've never gotten a job only because I've had a penis. I don't think.
I've gotten 4.
What were they?
It was all jobs where I had to show my penis to a man in an alley.
I don't know, man. It just seems like, Jared, you're reiterating what I say all the time, and it's that we all hate the government and these corrupt power structures for different reasons, which is fine. There is some disparity there, but if we would pay attention to the fact that we all don't trust these institutions, then the focus would be to create institutions we do trust instead of only tearing down ones we don't trust. Building is better, right? And I'm not talking about build back better. I'm talking about building actual institutions that we can trust, ones where people go to Washington as a public service, serve their time, and get the fuck out without becoming multi-tens of millionaires, for example, right? People that aren't taking advantage of the power structures to benefit themselves at the expense of everyone else. What I'm talking about is an anti-aristocracy, and it's the fucking point of this entire country. And we fucked it up from right at the beginning. Like, immediately.
It's an aristocracy from the get-go.
Landowning white people could fucking vote.
Right.
The end. All right, cool, man. Actually, landowners. It didn't say white people. Landowning black dudes could vote, too.
I don't know.
Yeah, technically, I think that's the case, but they fixed that down the road. And then had to refix it.
Took care of that.
Yeah. But anyways, we're gonna close the show out. I want you to fucking go.
Hey,
yes.
Check these.
Where are they?
Because this shit is tight. We have like so many new products.
Well, what's that one called?
This is the frog camo. They're these really light hoodies. God, dude, I could not be like more obsessed with a product that we have.
Frog skin camo poncho liner. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No.
I think so.
Oh, it's these light. They're really light. Like, it's fucking sweet, man.
The t-shirt hoodie's in right now.
Or maybe it's
t-shirt
frog skin camo is the type of camo. So just search frog skin camo on there.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of
badass.
other ones.
We do 90 new products added last Friday.
Your mom's got 90 new products.
You and my mother have a very unique relationship.
We do, yeah. She says she's going to be here for New Year's, so Brittany and I are going to come down.
Are you coming to the ranch for that?
Yeah.
Is Rob coming? Giorgio's not invited.
Giorgio, yeah. Well, he's got to be vaccinated, but not for COVID, for some other stuff.
Just anything else, yeah.
Giorgio definitely doesn't have his shots.
By the way, Dan said I wasn't allowed to be on the microphone 2 shows in a row until he showed me like videos of him and your mom. So
yeah,
it was like a whole.
We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. Jared's mom has always been, since he was a very young man, hot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for a long time. And it's
like, oh, what's that word? Watch out, Dan. My dad's watching. He's texting me right now about this damn show.
He might stab me. I remember the first time we met your dad, we went to that fucking arcade, or I met your dad. It wasn't the first time you met him. The first time I met your dad, we went to that arcade and got fucking hammered. And I'm pretty sure your mom had to drive us home.
Fuck, I remember that.
Yeah, didn't your mom have to drive us home?
Dude, I got so wrecked.
like two fucking people just off deployments and your dad. We were all just wrecked, and your mom had to drive us home from an arcade like we were children.
Well, this is the time, Dan. We will announce my studio is set to be completed out here by 1 Jan. Once it's done, boys, Rob and the boys, you guys get a weekly show from me. I haven't decided the title of it yet, but it might, it's going to be fucking stupid.
Probably Dick Butt.
It's going to be stupid.
Wait, maybe the Crime Corner one's more appropriate.
No, I've got a full erection.
Oh.
I got more wood than Jared Taylor's back bedroom.
Backsplash.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
right
was-
now.
That was rough.
Yeah. You got more wood than Jared's shiplap.
You had the whole show to write that.
You
joke.
like my wood?
I always
Maybe
like your wood,
that's
Jared.
that's the name of the show. You like my wood? Question mark.
You like my wood? I'm just in here.
Yeah, and then on January 1st is for that, and then January 6th we got some other plans. There we go. A little late on that.
I was
Cameron.
joking with a buddy the other day. So fucking Alex Jones got subpoenaed or whatever.
Yeah, again.
And he,
I heard about that,
for the
yeah.
January 6th thing, and he came on this show and like ran it down in detail what he did there or like what he saw there or whatever. And I was like, man, I'm really not wild about being 1 degree removed from a dude getting subpoenaed by the House for January 6th, especially when my job was to take detailed notes of what he was saying on that day.
Yeah, you're going to jail, bitch.
Yeah. Feels not ideal.
No, it's not. It's not ideal. Go look into that.
And if you have a spare second, roll over to that Lauren Chen video. I did comment on it and said, "Is this your way of telling me you want me to ask you out?" So, like that comment.
Solid. That's good work.
And check out that story I told you about with the
Yeah, that's
the young
fucked
woman.
up, dude.
Crystal Kaiser, Kizer, in Kenosha. Check that shit out. Post about it so people fucking know about it.
I mean, man, that's not surprising in Kenosha. Like, pretty much every government lawyer situation, public defender, AG is underfunded. And when you get into the B, C, D tier cities like Kenosha, there's no way those people have enough money to hire competent.
That's not a good
employees.
enough excuse to keep someone in prison for killing somebody that victimized them for years.
Sure isn't.
Frankly, fuck them.
Yeah.
No, it's Kizer, Lawrence. Kizer. Yeah, don't. If you look into this a little bit more, there are fucking tons and tons of women who are in prison for killing abusive husbands. And to be honest, I feel like they did a public service.
Yeah.
Because those dudes usually end up killing the woman or going on to a new relationship and abusing them too, and maybe killing her.
More,
so fuck 'em.
more, and more.
If you're out there smacking women around, put a gun in your mouth and pull the fucking trigger, bitch. That's all I got to say about that. And we'll see you next time, bitches. All right.